Welcome to the ADF Active podcast, making training part of your lifestyle. My name's Amelia and I am joined by Monique, our physical training instructor from the Air Force, Chelsea, our mindfulness and psychology professional, and also Dinny, our fitness expert. And today we'll be talking about the challenges of squeezing yet more activities into your already overloaded calendar. We'll cover the best times for exercise, why it's good to stick to a schedule, and what sort of pace to train at. We'll also talk about pushing through the tough times and keeping yourself motivated. So, guys, I've got a busy life. I'm dashing around all over the place. Work's going nuts, and now I have to fit a fitness regime into my schedule. How am I going to do that? Dinny?
Yes, taking on something new is always a challenge, whether it's a new hobby, extra work, or a special course you need to do. The bottom line is you need to learn to juggle and maybe drop one or two of the activities that aren't as important to you.
What kind of activities do you think that is? What are the usual questions or the answers that you give to your clients?
Well, generally there's, going out too many times during the week, in the evenings, having too many bevies or drinks, cutting back on those, staying out late at night, all that sort of stuff, because it does impact on, your training, your motivation to train as well.
And how does that impact, specifically impact your training and motivation?
The bottom line is you have to learn to juggle and maybe drop one or two activities that aren't as important to you, such as going out in the evenings, staying out too late and so forth.
So by dropping these two activities, how is that going to impact my motivation and also my training?
Well, it's staying out late at night. You're going to be out late at night. So if you're going to be setting your alarm first thing in the morning to get up and go and exercise, then you're probably less likely to do it because you're going to hit that snooze button.
Okay. So, Monique, I've got 3 workouts to do each week according to my ADF Active Personalised program. What's the best time to do them?
Amelia, everyone has jobs, families and other commitments that often take up large chunks of our day. So your first goal should be to find a time that works well for you. This includes, being able to fit in a recovery session as well in between those actual workouts within the ADF app. So, of course, everyone's different. We can't all schedule our training in the morning because we might have prior commitments. And we're not necessarily a morning person as well. So finding something that works well for you, a routine, will actually give you more of an incentive and that motivation to complete it.
Okay, so Dinny, are there times that are actually better for exercise?
Well, studies have shown that if you're looking to burn fat, you should exercise first thing in the morning. Apparently, this is because your body has effectively run out of carbohydrates for fuel overnight, so it switches to burning fats instead when you're exercising in the mornings. That said, if you simply don't have the time in the mornings or you're just not a morning person, exercising during your lunch break also has its benefits. By this time, your body will be alert and awake and your muscles will be ready to go, meaning there's less chance of injury.
But what about getting bigger muscles? Is there a best time for that, Dinny?
Well, apparently there is. If your goal is to gain muscle mass, working out in the evening is going to be your best bet. The reason being is you've basically taken in fuel throughout the day with nutrition. You're taking breakfast in. Generally, myself, I train around about the 2 p.m. mark because I feel much more refreshed to be hitting it in the gym. But everyone's different. So also there's certain hormones that are necessary for muscle resistance work, and they're optimal at this time.
So I guess the best time to exercise is the time that works for you. But Dinny, tell us, is there a bad time?
The only thing I would say is don't exercise 2 to 3 hours before bed. Reason being it's going to stimulate certain hormones that are basically going to keep you awake at night. And obviously, when you do exercise, you get a little bit more energy. So it's going to keep you up at night.
Okay, that's great advice. So is it okay to be flexible about when you do your workouts, fitting them in when you have a break between other things? So during a work week, during our lunch breaks?
It's a great idea, but rarely works. If you don't have a set time for your workouts, then, you can kind of say, okay, I'll go here the next day, and it doesn't happen. So it's best to, mark out time in your diary and just to make it happen. Be accountable to that diary and that time.
We mentioned in previous episodes that structure and routine is really important to achieving your fitness goals, but structure works for some people but not for others. What are your thoughts on that, Dinny?
Some people hate routine because it feels that they cramp their style and stops them from doing things on the spur of the moment. But in reality, if you have specific times that you're going to do the exercise, you can also allocate other time for certain other activities as well.
Okay, so Monique, how does the app help you with structure and planning your week?
So within the ADF Active app, it does outline your 12-week program and it details the exercises that you need to do. However, you do have that flexibility to adjust workouts. For example, if you feel like you want to do your swim today and then because that works with your current training regime as opposed to ride on that day, you can switch them up to suit your week. And you can set that up and then it will tell you then specifically when your workout will occur.
Oh, right. So the app is quite flexible.
It is flexible. So even though it has a structure and it outlines what you need to do to prepare you for your PFA, you still have that ownership of being able to, test and adjust and change what will suit you for that day. Because, we all have things that pop up out of the blue that, sometimes get in the way.
Well, that makes sense. I'm sure you get asked this a lot and you've seen this through the recruits. I was also going to ask about how to push through the tough times when it's getting all too hard. What's your advice for that?
First of all, I'd say always think about how far you've come. So whether you're a week in, you're 6 weeks in, or, you're a week out from your PFA, always look back and see, where have I actually come from? And that's why it's actually important that you use the app, to track your progress. When you're faced, with crawling out of that nice warm bed, to go and have a workout, think about how good it's making you feel to stick to the program and where it will actually take you. Remind yourself that once you get going, you get your gym gear ready the night before. Okay, those endorphins should kick in and you'll feel rewarded by the end of that workout.
So Chelsea, endorphins?
Yeah, it's not just chocolate leads to this release. Crazy, I know. Intense exercise can release them too, which is why some people actually get addicted to the exercise.
Okay, and are there any other ways you can mentally push yourself other than chocolate to keep up with a regime?
Absolutely. Your mind is like this incredible neurocircuit switch, and what you actually tell it, you embody, and then you start believing and feeling that. So you can actually influence your mind into thinking differently. And as Monique said, faced with that, leaving that warm bed, don't think about exercising, but think of it more as training. So training is something you do to work towards a definitive outcome rather than just exercising for this gradual change. It's a little thing, but it works for so many people, and it's all about having this growth mindset.
Wow, so you're really transforming yourself physically and also mentally and having a new, physical output and also mental output throughout this whole program. That's great. And what pace should you train at, Monique? Hard, gentle? What's your advice on that?
Well, you can leave that all up to the ADF app. With your initial assessment, it'll then, gauge what your current fitness level is, and your personalised program will tell you. So it will start you at a steady, manageable pace so that your body doesn't get too much shock or potentially gain an injury. Then it will increase the intensity as your results improve and as you get fitter, your breathing becomes better and more efficient until you have a bit of a plateau, and that's around that 6 to 8 week mark. So at this stage, it'll then mix it up, as we spoke about in the previous podcasts, the fifth stage. So plenty of new exercises, variety to keep you interested and motivated, just like a personal trainer should do or a physical training instructor. That's exactly what it is. It's your personal coach that will pretty much stay in your hip pocket.
And it's probably much less bossy than any personal trainer that I've ever had. Sorry, Denny. Thanks for all the advice. Is there anything else to finish off with?
Always, set a strong foundation. Don't forget, your body is your house sort of thing. And you want to make sure that it's healthy and it moves correctly, and then you're less likely to get any injuries. So, refer back to the app, how the movements are done and everything like that, and you should be fine.
That's great. Thanks again, Monique, Denny, Chelsea. That's all for now. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more podcasts as you go through your ADF Active training program.